Good morning, damn. Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ MV.
Charlamagne the God.
Now you know those are fake yo-yos.
Yeah, he's not here. He'll be here in a little bit. But it's Tuesday. Good morning. How y'all feeling?
You sound a little rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty, a little tired.
Oh yeah, tired on your vacation?
Well, yeah, you could call it that. It wasn't really a vacation.
It is.
I'm celebrating my daughter's 21st birthday, so
how
I guess
is that
you could
not
call
a
it
vacation? Is it work?
It's not work, but you know, it's making sure that she's happy and taking her out and doing the things that she wants to do. So I guess it's a little vacation and also
y'all on vacation
celebrating
together.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So I'm back today, though.
Okay, all right.
How you feeling? What you do yesterday?
I'm good. Yesterday I actually hosted Pinky Cole, her book launch. Eat Plants, Bitch. You know her as the owner of Slutty Vegan.
Yep.
She already has 9 locations, and her company is valued at $100 million after she raised $25 million.
I love it.
In this latest round. And the food is amazing. So the book is actually a cookbook. It has 91 different recipes. Wow. I'm going to try some of them because, you know, I love a good vegan meal. And I love when a vegan meal, they did a whole contest. Well, not a contest, but they did this whole thing to see, they pulled 3 people up to see if they could tell which meal was vegan and which wasn't. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't tell the difference. They actually picked the wrong one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after this vacation, I might have to turn vegan. I've been eating like crazy. So much seafood, lobster, shrimp, you name it. Anything that comes out the damn ocean, I've been eating, and I've been enjoying. Yep, anything.
All right, and then after that, I had a day yesterday. I actually went to the Puma store to celebrate Lauren London's new Puma collection at their flagship store. So she was there. So shout out to Miss Lauren London. And then I was the lifeline for Roxy Diaz from 106 and Park, formerly, and Chantel. I was their lifeline for the show that Kevin Hart has, Game Face.
Okay, so you was out and about and running around yesterday. All right. Well, let's get the show cracking. Front page news, what we talking about?
Man, police do have that student in custody who is suspected of fatally shooting 3 current players and wounding 2 others. Fatally shooting 3 current players at the school's main campus in Charlottesville. So we'll tell you the information about the suspect, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr.
All right, so sad. We'll get into that next and more, so don't move. Charlamagne's on his way. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. I'm gonna make A&V, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now in Monday Night Football, the Eagles lost to the Commanders 32-21. So now the Eagles' record is now 8-1. Still number 1 in the division, though. But shout out to Washington Commanders. Now what else we got, Easy?
All right, well, let's talk about the student suspect who is now in custody after 3 football players were killed and 2 others were wounded. The suspect is Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. He is facing 3 charges of second-degree murder and 3 counts of using a handgun in the commission of a felony. He was arrested without incident around 11 a.m. Yesterday, about 80 miles east of Charlottesville. The students who were killed were Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. The 2 wounded students are being treated, with one in critical condition and the other in good condition, but they did not release their names right now. According to reports, the suspect had been known to campus police. They said authorities found that he had made a comment about possessing a gun to somebody who was unaffiliated with the university, but the person never actually saw the gun in question, and it wasn't also part of a threat to anybody. So they did say the person said they felt that it was important to share that information as well. Now, federal prosecutors are working with local authorities, and his father, Christopher Darnell Jones Sr., actually did an interview with NBC 12 and talked about his son. He said he had some problems. The last time I talked to him, he said some people were picking on him. He didn't know how to handle it, and I just told him don't pay it any mind and just go to school. According to the interview, the father said he was really paranoid and he wouldn't tell me everything. He was a very sensitive young man. They spoke about a month before Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. allegedly opened fire on a bus full of football players who were returning to the Charlottesville campus from a field trip. He said he last saw his son when he came to his house to do some laundry. He seemed like he was doing well, and he said he just told him just to go to school. And then he said,
yeah, I mean, the father said that his son said he was being picked on and bullied and didn't know how to handle it. And, you know, that's one of the most difficult things. And of course, killing nobody is never the answer. But we need to have more safe places for kids to call and feel comfortable and get some type of help. And I don't know what that is. But as a kid, I was bullied, so I understand what it was, and I understand wanting to get revenge and understand wanting to get my get back at times. But, it's a difficult thing, and I feel sad for both sides, honestly.
Yeah, and the father did apologize. I mean, there's, I'm sure this is his worst nightmare. He said his son is now an accused murderer, and he used to be a friend to everyone and excelled at everything. He said, why did it have to get this far? He could have called me. If he had called me Saturday, I think maybe I could have talked him out of some things. Maybe, hopefully, but I can't even imagine the pain that the family of those 3 students who were killed, what they're feeling right now.
Yeah, but it's like when you snap, it could have been to the point where he's like, I just can't take it no more, and I need to do something back. But if there was a place, like maybe a safe place to call, or if you'd have reached out to his dad, maybe his dad would have been like, you know what, that's not the way. That's not the answer. We'll handle it a different way. It's just difficult, man. It's just really difficult. Again, condolences to those young men that their families, and RIP. It's just sad all the way around.
All right, and Odell Beckham Jr. is suing Nike for over $20 million, and he also put out a statement. He said, being a Nike athlete and brand icon was a dream I've had since being a young boy. When Nike exercised its right of first refusal to match the Adidas offer, and not only kept me as a Nike athlete, but also made me one of their brand icons, my dream had been fulfilled. Unfortunately, Nike did not honor its commitments. Throughout our partnership, I have kept my promise and fulfilled my obligations to the brand. I am extremely disappointed that I've had to take these measures to ensure Nike fulfills their obligations and promises. Today, I'm taking a stand, not just for me, but to set a precedent for all athletes who've dedicated their life to the sport they love, especially those who don't have the means to stand up for themselves. So he said, we are responsible for fulfilling our obligations under our contracts, but we also have to hold powerful companies like Nike accountable for honoring their commitments too.
Yeah, it's going to be a contract fight. Whatever was in that contract, whatever he agreed upon, whatever that those lawyers went back and forth and said, okay, that's what this is going to be about. I know they said there was a fine print that nobody's seen allegedly. Problem with that is that's what you pay your attorney for. You pay your attorney to look at the fine print, the big print, the left print, the right print. It doesn't matter. They're supposed to look at that contract and make sure that they take care of everything.
How many times you want to see Odell's print, bro? You want him to be a Giant again?
Good morning to you, Charlamagne. Is that how you walk in? You walk in talking about the man's print?
I walked in and you talking about the man's print.
Well, according to the what's in the contract, allegedly, he was the first player in the NFL to receive such a title as a brand icon. That's what he was supposed to be. And Nike allegedly kept just over $2 million of the nearly $2.6 million he was owed in March of 2022. And Odell Beckham Jr. also alleges that he contacted Nike about the discrepancy in pay, but also questioned the status of his guaranteed extension. And he was allegedly told by Nike that he failed to meet the required benchmark by almost $70 million. And he attributes the dispute over the threshold to incorrect language in their deal.
Yeah, I don't think Odell would be suing if he didn't have a lawsuit. I'm sure that whoever his legal team is, they wouldn't be pursuing, especially a lawsuit against a company like Nike. They wouldn't be pursuing that if they didn't think they had a case.
Yeah, it is a legal matter now, and he also alleges that Nike stopped actively manufacturing and or selling royalty-generating products after 2020 to make sure that he didn't meet the benchmarks that he was supposed to meet to get paid.
Yeah, like I said, whatever's in that contract that his lawyers agreed upon it's what's allowing him to sue Nike. So we'll have to see.
And nobody's going after a company like Nike if they don't think they got a case. So sounds like he's got a case.
All right, well, that is your front page news.
All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051 if you need to vent. Phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051 is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Let's go. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed. Say it with your chest. We want to hear from you on the Breakfast Club.
So if you got something on your mind, lay it out.
Hello, who's this?
This is James from the Bronx.
James.
What up? Get it off your chest.
What's going on, man? I got to talk about this traffic, bro. New York traffic. Yo, what is it about New York that people can't drive and the traffic is always crazy?
It's all times of hours now too. It's not like it used to be where you could hit the tunnel or the bridge at a certain time and be good. Now it's all times of day and night.
But that seems like it's everywhere. If you're ever in Atlanta, traffic is crazy. If you're in LA, traffic is crazy. Florida, traffic is crazy. Traffic is crazy everywhere.
Bro, but I'm saying it's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right. 5 o'clock in the morning is crazy for there to be a lot
of.
It
don't even make no sense.
Yeah,
that's what I said. It's all times of day and night, bro.
If I leave to get to work like 10 minutes late, the traffic is so different than if I would have left on time.
Oh man, with me it's a game of inches and minutes. Really, like if I have to stop to get gas, I'm gonna be late.
I think it's because less people are taking public transportation. Probably because of safety reasons too.
Maybe.
But what about the traffic? They got these traffic cams now. That's even worse now. So now if you're moving like 30 miles, 35, you gonna get a ticket. Plus you in this traffic. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's like a double whammy you getting hit with all the time. And New York gotta cut that out, bro.
They got way more cameras now, especially in the morning. I've been getting tickets left and right for going 10 over or 7
You
over.
gotta just go under 35. That's how you don't get a ticket. If you go anything above 10 miles per hour, that's how you get a ticket from those cameras.
The world we live in, bro.
Hello, good morning.
Hey.
Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning.
Good morning, Breakfast Club. This is Crystal from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey, Crystal.
Peace, Crystal.
Good morning. How y'all doing? I just want to get off my chest that I know a lot of people in the world, everybody's going through something, whether it's death, whether it's the recession, you know, and I just want them to know that it's always somebody in a worse situation than you. Like, your situation could always be worse.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
And it could always be better.
Yes, it could always be better, definitely. But you just have to take the time and pray to God and just let him hear your cries, because he's the one that's going to make everything okay. But I just want to send some love to the world.
Thank you, Queen. What you going through?
Yeah, what are you going through, hon?
I mean, I'm going through a lot. I'm a single mom, and I'm just doing it on my own, and it's really hard right now. And at times, I feel like I just want to give up. But I can't, because I have 3 babies that I need to take care of, who look up to me, who need me, Mm-hmm. And it's just really hard sometimes, so I just want to put it out there that if you know somebody or you have somebody that's going through something, check on your people. Because they may be putting up a disguise that everything is okay, and it's really not okay.
Man, the blessing that God has coming towards you is going to be so incredible, because even though you're going through all of this, you woke up this morning and decided to speak positive energy over so many other people's lives. You decided to wake up this morning and pour into other people and wish other people well. Watch the blessing God has coming for you. Remember I said it.
Yes, thank you, Charlamagne. I love you guys. I listen to you every day. And blessings to you all, okay?
Love you more.
All right, you have a great one, Mama. All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Go, wake up.
Wake your ass. This is your time to get it off your chest. Whether you're mad or blessed, we want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, DJ Envy, what's up, bro?
What up, bro? Who's this?
What's going on with you? This Quest calling from Milwaukee.
Quest, what up, man? Get it off your chest, bro.
Charlamagne, Angela Yee, how y'all doing?
Peace, King. How are you, brother?
I'm all right. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to say, I just got my cert for IT. I'm not too familiar with the field. It's kind of like me just getting started. But I got the cert Saturday, so I'm really blessed that I got that. You know what I mean? So
Wait, what is it that you got?
I'm just feeling good. I got a certificate. I got the Security Plus CompTIA cert.
Oh, congratulations, King.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really know where to go, like what to do from here, because I'm still trying to, get my foot in the door with the experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that's just all I really wanted to call in for, man. By the way, Angela Yee, congratulations on your show.
Thank you.
I've been calling. I've been listening since 2018. So I ain't been the longest fan ever, but ever since I've been listening, when I go to work, I had a lineup. It used to be First Take and Breakfast Club, but ever since I've been listening to y'all, it's just been Breakfast Club all day. I've been listening to all the reruns and everything, so I appreciate y'all. And,
we appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate that. I still watch my First Take, though, buddy. I'm telling you that right now. I watch First Take every damn day.
Well, thank you, brother. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Natasha. How y'all doing? Good morning.
Hey, Natasha, your phone sounds a little choppy, but good morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning. I'm calling from Monroe, North Carolina, 704.
704.
I ain't really got anything to get off my chest. It's really my daughter. She 9. She want to speak, y'all, not me. So I'm going to get her the phone.
Put her on.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
You want to call and you want to vent about your mama, don't you?
You want to get it off your chest?
Yes.
What your mama did?
I'm thankful for my family and my friends.
All right.
All right, well, thank you, Mama. You have a good day at school.
She's grateful and thankful. Thank God.
It
right?
is
You got to wake up
season.
and thank God.
Yeah, that was what you do at Thanksgiving dinner. You go around the table and ask everybody what you're thankful for and grateful for. And that's what she did. She got an early start.
And you get to them kids that want to rush through them because they ain't got nothing to say and everybody ready to eat. Okay?
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got rumors on the way?
Yes, and let's talk about 21 Savage. Some comments that he made yesterday had people up in arms.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's talk Nas, 21 Savage.
This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
All right, well, there was a Clubhouse room, and this happened over the weekend following the release of Nas's album King's Disease 3. And apparently 21 Savage said some things that struck a chord with people. They were talking about Nas being one of the greatest rappers of all time, and here's what 21 Savage had to say.
No, I don't feel like he's relevant. I just feel like he got
none of them are relevant.
Man, he's not relevant. He just has a loyal ass fan base.
Thank you.
He just has a loyal fan base that and he still make good ass music. But
They don't
like
have a core fan base, bro?
What?
All right. Well, Nas's brother, Jungle, has already responded and said 21 Savage is trash. Glad Nas dropped King's Disease 3 so fans can hear real bars. 21, can you do something for me?
Well, whether 21 Savage is trash or not, it's an opinion. I don't feel that way, but 21 is absolutely wrong about what he said about Nas. Like, Nas will forever be relevant because he's Nas. Like, the fact that he's even being discussed in that clubhouse lets you know that he'll forever be relevant. Not to mention, Nas is something that a lot of people in this business hope to be, and that's a legend, an icon, a classic, a one-on-one. When Nas' first album came out, 94?
94. I mean, he just won a Grammy a year ago, so obviously he's relevant.
Even if forget the Grammy, he's had a 28-year career. That should be the goal for anyone in the business. From his music catalog to his investment portfolio, Nas is forever relevant. Just because you're having a hot week, 21, with because you got an album with Drake. Let's not get crazy, young king.
And Nas's album is dope, by the way.
Yes, King's Disease 3 is very
Nas's
dope.
album is dope.
I mean, Hit Boy and Nas haven't missed with any of that. Any of the King's Diseases or the Magic, by the way.
I mean, I'm sure there's still some artists, some legends that put out records that are not good, but Nas is still putting out relevant, good music.
And his investment portfolio and his music catalog. The man has had a 28-year career. Come on, bro. He was being discussed in the clubhouse. Nas is classic. He's forever relevant.
Correct.
Yeah, so there's no way. And people were definitely coming at 21 Savage for his comments. And he did backpedal after getting some heat for that.
You know how long 28 years is? 21 Savage is only 30. So Nas's music career from 1994 to now has been almost as old as 21 Savage.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of the comments for people who had some things to say about that. And it was interesting. But he said, I would never disrespect Nas or any legend who paved the way for me. Y'all be trying to take stuff and run with it.
And I mean, he technically still said Nas was relevant because he said he has a loyal following and he makes good-ass music. What else do you want? 28 years in. But also check Nas's investment portfolio.
Through the roof.
Please.
All right.
Just go take a peek at it.
All right, now let's talk about the American Music Awards. Lil Baby, Glorilla, and Ari Lennox will all be performing. That's going to be at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. And so that should be interesting to watch. And other news with that, Megan Thee Stallion has gotten a restraining order against her label over the American Music Awards. She had to file legal documents to get that against 1501 Certified Entertainment and her distributor 300 Entertainment. She says that 1501 made threatening and retaliatory moves to block her from using her own music in connection with the AMAs, which will be handed out this coming Sunday. So the problem is, and right now the judge did give her that restraining order because they wouldn't have had a court date until next Tuesday, 2 days after the AMAs would have aired. So they're going to air on Sunday, November 20th. So they had to give her that in order for her to be able to perform. We don't know what was really going on behind the scenes, but I guess, it's a timely thing.
Well, November coming and going faster than October, ain't it?
Yeah, Thanksgiving's next week.
October came and went. November, like, I'm going to beat their record.
All right, and Grammy nominations are going to be announced tonight. So the nominees will be announced, and there's actually 5 new categories as well. So that's going to include Songwriter of the Year to honor music's best composer and a special Song for Social Change award. So the Grammys will be handed out February 5th in L.A.
It'll be February before you know it, like in a week.
Everything is coming up before you know it. All right. And Jay Leno is speaking out after he suffered serious burns from a gasoline car fire. I saw that happen. He told Page 6 yesterday afternoon, I got some serious burns from a gasoline fire. I am okay. Just need a week or 2 to get back on my feet. TMZ reported that he's an avid car collector. I'm sure you know that, Envy.
Yep.
He was in the LA garage where he stores his dozens of vehicles when one of them burst into flames. The explosion severely burned the left side of his face without causing injury to his eye or ear. He was then sent to the burn center, and it was a very serious medical emergency. He had to miss a scheduled appearance in Vegas on Sunday night, and they didn't give that many details at first, but he has said that he is going to be okay.
Yeah, it was one of those older cars. It was, I think the car was like 110 years old. It had a fuel problem, and he, I guess, went to check it, and the fuel shot on his face.
Cars ran off gas 110 years ago?
I guess so.
They had cars 110 years ago?
Yeah, it's one of them old cars.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's really 110 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all remember the Fire Festival, right? That didn't end up
happening. How can you forget?
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. All right. Well, Billy McFarland, he's the man behind that Fire Festival. He ended up going to jail. He has now issued an apology letter to the Bahamian government. And that was yesterday, hours after the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper, said they want nothing to do with his next venture. And so he's trying to do some type of treasure hunt in the Bahamas.
What?
Yes, here's what he said.
Hey guys, it's Billy McFarland. As you might know, I effed around. And because of that, I definitely found out. Obviously, I've had a little bit too much time to think about this, but I do feel like the moment's right to start making this up to everybody. You might have guessed, but I'm working on something new. This time, it's a little crazier, but a whole lot bigger than anything I've ever tried before. I promise I'm going to tell you everything in November. But before we get there, there's one thing you need to know now. This time, everybody's invited.
Where's Andy? Where's Andy?
That's all you care about.
Who
documentary.
team is Andy on now? Whose team is benefiting from Andy's
For people who don't
mouth?
know who Andy is, Charlamagne, explain.
If you don't know who Andy is, you don't need to know who Andy is. But those who know need to know, where is Andy at? Whose team is benefiting from Andy's
Andy, somebody's
mouth?
looking for you.
Now, let me ask you a question. This don't sound crazy. This don't sound privileged by all types of things.
Well, listen, the government of the Bahamas will not endorse or approve any event in the Bahamas associated with him. He's considered to be a fugitive with several pending complaints made against him with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Anybody knowing of his whereabouts should report that.
What do you mean he's a fugitive? He escaped from jail?
That's what they're saying in the Bahamas. So I guess there's complaints. He went to jail here. He actually served 4 out of 6 years of his 6-year sentence. So he went to jail for 4 years. And he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud over that event. But this is according to the Deputy Prime Minister in the Bahamas, the Minister of Tourism. They're like, if you try to come here, you are a fugitive here in the Bahamas. You're going to go to jail.
Oh, so there's warrants for him in the Bahamas?
Yes, there's still complaints against him there.
You.
So he got to stay out.
Well, we got to send Andy in there. Send Andy in there. Andy might clean that whole thing up for him.
Might clean it all up for him.
Andy might go have a meeting with the Prime Minister. Prime Minister might come out with a smile on his face. Okay, ready to grant access to the whole team.
All right, well, that is your rumor report.
Where is Andy?
Where is Andy? Nobody's done an update on Andy. Where is Andy now?
That's a good question. All right, when we come back, we got front page news. What we talking about?
All right, well, let's talk about, now this was so hard to watch, and this actually made the rounds and went viral. But we'll talk about a man who was beaten, a 41-year-old black man. He was beaten while in custody at the Camden County, Georgia Detention Center. This happened in September. Jarrett Hobbs, and we'll talk about this case.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
This fall, a great night's sleep starts at Mattress Firm. Right now, get king beds for queen prices, queen beds for twin prices, and save up to $700 on select mattresses from top brands. Visit a store near you or mattressfirm.com today.
Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, last night, the Commanders beat the Eagles 32-21. Now, the Eagles are now 8-1.
Dropping the clues bomb for the Commanders.
Yes.
Not because I like the Commanders, but just because they beat the Eagles, and that was an NFC East game. Okay?
Yes, they did.
We need the Eagles to lose some NFC East games.
What else we got, Easy?
All right. Well, former Vice President Mike Pence did an exclusive interview with ABC's World News Tonight, and he talked about the former president, Donald Trump. Feels like a lot of people are turning their back on Donald Trump right now in the Republican Party because they feel like a lot of the elections were lost from people that he endorsed. But here is what Mike Pence had to say. Some people also feel like he might be running for presidency against Donald Trump. Here's what he said about Donald Trump.
2:24 p.m., the president tweets, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done.
It angered me. But I turned to my daughter, who was standing nearby, and I said, it doesn't take courage to break the law. It takes courage to uphold the law. I mean, the president's words were reckless. It was clear he decided to be part of the problem.
All right.
Ooh.
What?
I said, this is going to be a good one. Them two going back and forth?
No, it's
Jesus.
not. He'll eat Mike Pence alive. You know, isn't Trump supposed to announce that he's running for president today?
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be today.
I'm sure
Some people are saying he shouldn't do it. And I've seen some outlets that were so supportive of him that are now going against him.
Here's the thing. The problem with all those individuals is they have no integrity, no honor. If Trump announces today and, you know, he still has the momentum of the people and he looks like he's going to be the candidate for the GOP in 2024, they all going to jump back on his D. Think about all of those old videos you've seen of all of those senators from Ted Cruz to Lindsey Graham to whoever talking crazy about Trump until Trump, you know, got back in position. This is truly the epitome of when you hot, they all over you. When you cold, they off you.
But I just think that they feel like with these recent elections, they feel like a lot of the people that Trump was endorsing lost, and that's why the Republicans lost the Senate. And if somebody that they feel is a better chance or a better nominee,
but who's
they'll
better
be behind that person.
Who's better? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know who's planning to run yet.
But that's my point. There's nobody out there that has the strength and the power that Donald Trump has in the Republican Party. Some people say DeSantis, but can DeSantis win a national election? I don't know. I'm telling you, all of these people will jump right back on Donald Trump's D.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else.
But
out
I also
there.
think they're blaming him for the Republican nominees losing in the midterms.
I mean, they got to blame somebody.
It was really the people that he endorsed that lost.
Yeah, but they didn't know that until they lost. Before that, they were talking about how much power Trump had, and they're afraid that, you know, Trump can wave his magic wand and get people elected. You don't ever know something's not going to work until it doesn't work. But I guarantee you, they will be back on his D in 2024 if he's
and
the GOP
I don't know if you've been
candidate.
seeing, if y'all been watching, there's been more and more MAGA flags hanging and flying everywhere.
I haven't seen more than usual.
I don't.
I've been seeing more.
I definitely haven't.
Yeah,
I've been seeing more now.
And I don't know who they would put as the GOP nominee other than DeSantis in 2024. And I don't think DeSantis is as strong nationally as Trump.
Because he won that election handily in Florida.
Florida, though.
All right, now let's talk about an attorney for a 41-year-old black man who was beaten while in custody at the Camden County, Georgia Detention Center. This happened in September. The civil rights attorney, Harry Daniels, says that his client, Derek Hobbs, was mercilessly beaten by officers. And there's a video that's been circulating. And let me tell you something. Just watching even a little bit of this is so tough to see. 5 officers can be seen entering his cell. One of them grabs him by his neck. They said they ripped one of his dreads out, by the way. And when I tell you they are beating him, I mean, he is on the ground. They're wrestling him to the ground. One of the officers is kicking him. 4 out of the 5 officers appear to be white, and one of them appears to be black. They said the video is undeniable, and the deputies' actions are inexcusable. And there's a third video from a different angle, which includes audio, but they're not releasing that video at this time. But according to reports, Hobbs was suffering a psychological episode at the jail and asked to be placed in protective custody. And so not sure how this went so left after that, but now there's an internal investigation. And this happened September 30th, by the way. So when I tell you I can't even see any explanation for why these 5 officers would have to beat him down the way that they did. He's not even swinging. He's just a complete victim.
Wasn't he handcuffed? Or am I tripping? He was handcuffed, right? Yeah, he was handcuffed.
I mean, they beat his ass. It was awful.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me guess, they got suspended pending investigation, but you said there's an internal investigation, and I never know what there is to investigate in situations like this because we all have eyes. There's never a reason for 5 police officers to be beating on a handcuffed man like that.
I mean, there definitely need to be charges. There's no charges against these officers or anything yet. So they're asking for there to be charges, and I do feel like if people make noise about this, that's what you have to do to make sure that people are accountable. All right.
It's crazy in a situation like this that noise has to be made because, somebody in that police department should look at that video and immediately all of those guys should be fired.
And what they're saying the problem is that he was kicking his cell door and he was told by jailers to stop after already being warned to stop previously. And he continued kicking. And that's why they approached him, gave him verbal commands. They put his hands behind his back. And the defendant allegedly did not comply and said, I ain't doing ish. And they gave him orders. And then that's when the physical altercation ensued. And really, the physical altercation was them beating him up.
And there's some people who will justify him getting beat up because he didn't listen.
I mean, he told them that he was having a psychological episode. He asked to be put in protective custody. What more do you want?
That's sad.
All right.
Yeah, and why would they send him to protective custody if he's having a psychological episode?
No, he asked for it.
I'm saying, but even with that, it's like he should be sent to a facility, like some type of mental health facility. Like there should be somebody that can come in there and help him through his psychological episode. Don't throw him in PC. That's inhumane within itself.
Right. Well, that is your front page news.
All right. Now, yesterday, we reported a story about two young ladies trying to get into a club, right?
Yes, they were going to a club. This club is owned by the Tao Group, and apparently they were denied entrance. It was a whole party of them, and everybody else was allowed into the club. And according to these women, they said they got to the front of the line, and the bouncer looked them up and down and said, "Not tonight." And they're plus-size models.
All right, so we're asking, have you ever been denied at a club? What did it look like to you? 800
they let everybody else in.
585-1051. New York was notorious with this, I would say about maybe 10, 15 years ago. I mean, to the point where they like tuck in your shirt, tie your shoes, pull up your pants, like take the hat off. Like New York was one of the worst.
I think a dress code is fine. I think it's different when you discriminate against somebody because of
dress code.
And this was in LA. This was in LA.
Else has dress code. Nobody else had dress code. So in New York, to keep minorities out and black people out of clubs, what they would do is they would put a different dress code when they see you. Tuck in your shirt, make you do stupid things.
Especially if it was like the black night. If it was the black people night, they do certain things like they would charge more for drinks. And then they would also have a different dress code than they would any other night.
What about Dominicans? Did they let them in with the white jeans and the Giants jerseys?
800-585-1051. Have you ever been dead at a club? What happened? Yo, shut up, man. It's the Breakfast Club.
I wouldn't let them in because of their arched eyebrows, but that's just me.
It's topic time. Call 800-585-1051 to join into the discussion with the Breakfast Club. Talk about it.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about these two ladies that were denied access to a club, allegedly because of their weight, correct?
Yes, that's what they are alleging. They were with a group of people, and they said everybody else got in, and then when they got to the front of the line, the bouncer looked them up and down and said, "Not tonight." And now they started this whole hashtag, "Not tonight." All
right, so we're asking, have you ever been denied at a club? I'm from New York, so yes. I used to have to go to the club at 9 p.m. They used to do me dirty. And New York used to do everybody dirty. That was just New York at the time. What about you, Charlamagne?
Yeah, I have quite a few times in my life, you know what I mean? And I don't even remember most of them because I don't be caring. Okay, one thing about me, I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. And I've never been that pressed to want to be in a venue that bad. You tell me you don't want me in, cool, I'm going home because the way my anxiety's set up, I don't want to be here anyway.
Nah, but if I get myself dressed, I'm out. It's me and the fellas. We make an effort to go out, and especially
you got your crisp white jeans on.
Your crisp white jeans on because you're Dominican.
You got your Timberlands on, your new Tims on, and they tell you no Tims on.
Tims with white jeans.
Hey, what are you
nasty.
talking about?
I wouldn't let you in with Tims and white jeans either.
Man, I had one instance. I will never forget this. We were at this is a long time ago, but I was with Michael Kaiser, and we were trying to go to this spot. It's like a lounge or whatever, and we were outside. Everybody else was going in.
Kaiser, I seen y'all outside arguing that day, but go ahead.
Yes, that was not me arguing. That was him.
They wouldn't let Mike Kaiser in the club?
They wouldn't let Mike Kaiser. It was him at the front, though, and they seen him.
The president of Atlantic Records, Mike Kaiser?
Was, and it was, by the way, it used to be the Trump Soho.
It was the Trump Soho.
Yeah, now it's called the Dominic, but it used to be the Trump Soho. They had a club in there, and the guy, and it was definitely feeling super racist. It wasn't
know
crowded.
Mike hit him with that. Do you know who I am.
He started going crazy outside on the guy. He called him a bozo. He said, "You're a bozo."
Actually, Mike,
now, the
in
way
that
that
case,
I am,
you were the clown because you couldn't
I'm
get
like, look, first of all, I thought he was going so crazy. It was actually funny to me, but I was like, the way I am, if you just, say no, I'm out. But
that's it.
I understand how he was feeling, because sometimes you feel so disrespected.
He kept going. I pulled over and watched y'all. He was screaming.
What was the reason?
That's what I'm saying. The whole point is there was no reason.
His glasses were too thick.
It was his glasses.
Man, you know how terrible it is when somebody calls you a bozo?
It was his glasses.
There's this guy out here saying he's John Sally, man. He don't look like John Sally. He's kind of loves, but not really.
My goodness, let's go to the phone line.
Bozo.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, my name is Antoine.
Antoine from where?
I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina.
803, what's happening?
You got denied from a club, brother?
This was back in the 90s in a little spot called 5 Points in Columbia on Hart Street.
Come on now, we know about 5 Points.
I got denied entry 3 different occasions.
Wow, you still kept going back?
Well, 5 Points is the actual place. What was the building? What was the venue called?
The name of the venue was the Knock Knock Club. This was back in the 90s on Hart Street.
He's still mad.
Yo, you told us the address 3 times, but go ahead.
30 years later, he like, I'm still mad. But, so wait, you went back 3 times?
Because they told me, the first time they told me I couldn't come in, I had a Sean John t-shirt on. They said the logo was too big on my t-shirt.
Okay.
Second time, they told me I couldn't come in because I had red shoes on. The red shoes, it matched my outfit. Third time I couldn't come in because I had cornrows. It said no cornrows allowed. And in South Carolina is a right to restrict service state. That's just something they did to combat Jim Crow laws and stuff like that. So I got talked to an attorney. That's how I found that out. That I really didn't have a case to sue to establish it.
You tried to sue?
Why you kept trying to get in them white people clubs in 5 Points, man? All the other clubs in Columbia you could have went to at the time, especially in the 90s.
Because I ain't want to get shot.
I knew you was gonna say that, but I ain't want to say nothing. I ain't want to say nothing. I ain't want to do that to our people. But
I did used to go to Midnight Lounge, Club 48, and all that type of stuff. But every time you went, it always ended with a shootout in the parking lot.
Okay.
A brawl, all
you asked him.
Hey, listen, you ever went to 1800 Blandon Street, the main event?
Yes, I've been there before.
Most dangerous, at one point it was the most dangerous hairdresser in Columbia,
but
South
at least
Carolina.
You could get in.
But boy, it was a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was years later. That was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that was early 2000s. That was old. That was like 01, 02.
It reminds me, I used to have this bowling party every month, and I had it one time at Lucky Strike, and Ray J came, and they said, they tried to not let him in. They said his jeans were too wide. I've never heard such a thing.
Nah, that's their way of saying they didn't want baggy jeans.
No, they wasn't baggy. They said the legs of his jeans were too wide.
They wouldn't do that to Michael Jordan. If he came there with them wide-ass jeans he'd be wearing. They did that. They disrespected Ray J for no damn reason.
They let him in, but I was like, why do I have to argue with y'all to get Ray J in? They said his jeans are too wide.
Jeans are too wide.
800-585-1051. Have you ever been denied at a club? Let's talk about it. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
I need equity to sign a deal. I know when that call me.
Add your opinion to the Breakfast Club topic.
Come on.
800-585-1051.
Morning, everybody. V. Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about these 2 ladies that were denied access in L.A. allegedly because of their weight. You got the story, Yee?
Yes, Alexa J and Ella Halakis, they started the hashtag Not Tonight because of their experiences with size discrimination. They said they were going to this club in L.A., the Highlight Room, and they couldn't get in. That night, they waited in line, and their friends came in. It was a party for one of their friends. They stopped, and they were the only 2 that got stopped by the bouncers. And they said they looked them up head to toe and then said, not tonight.
All right. We're asking, have you ever been denied at a club? Hello, who's this?
Morning.
Good morning, Mama. So we're asking, have you been denied at a club, Mama?
So I have. I have a really interesting experience. I've been denied, and I've worked at a club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Miami. Okay. And so before Live became real big, they were not just letting anybody in.
Mm-hmm.
They
I can see that.
choosing people, picking and choosing. And I just have to say, I don't feel like that's discrimination. They're trying to give us an image of that club. And Uncle Charlamagne Envy, when y'all were younger, tell me if this is true or not. When dudes go to the club, they say, Is the chicks at the club?
That's right.
What club is it? What they look like?
That's why they let y'all in free before 11. Let the ladies in free before 11 because guys will pay whatever if the club full of beautiful women.
Absolutely, but check it. Just because we're all beautiful on the inside don't mean it all comes out in the DNA. And sometimes they'll say, no, not you, Ma. Your friend can come in, but you can't. And at that point, you got to make a decision.
No,
you want to sit here and go back and forth with this security and get embarrassed, or just go ahead.
I think that's whack, though. Your friend can come in, but you can't.
They did that a lot in New York, too.
That's terrible.
It's not about everybody's feelings, in my opinion.
But if people are together and they're there for a party and spending money, like, come on.
Well, that's why your whole crew got to be a bunch of baddies. If your whole crew ain't a bunch of baddies, then the baddies going to get in, and the rest of y'all going to
what about they used to be like,
early.
Every guy got to have 2 women with them to get in. Remember that?
I remember those. You got to have 2 chicks with you. Yep.
I don't mind that. Especially being in this era where dudes started showing up to the club with 15 guys with them.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to be outside going in the club, and guys would be like, can we walk in with you? Because we had a bunch of girls, and they couldn't get in unless they had women with them.
Thank you, Mama. Hello, who's this?
Yeah, this is Leon, man.
Leon from where?
Good morning.
Good morning, Leon. Where you calling from?
Leon, St. Bro.
All right. We're asking, have you ever been denied at the club?
No, but I have seen where a bunch of fat chicks did get denied in the club because they came up in there with 2 pieces on and their gut hanging out. All that cellulite hanging out, but you know what I mean?
Man.
Nobody wants to see that, bro.
Stop
You are disrespectful.
First of all,
I'm not disrespectful. First of all, let me explain something. There is such thing as a universal standard of beauty.
No, it is not. That is a damn lie.
What do you look like?
That is a damn lie.
What's your Instagram page?
There is no universal standard of beauty because you don't know what them girls look like on Mars.
Shut up, both of y'all.
We don't know what girls look like on Jupiter.
Look, there's a human man, bro.
Ain't no universal standard of beauty. Stop your lies.
No, okay, well, go back and do your history. Throughout history, women have been beautiful and 2/3 of a man's weight, size, and height, bro.
The white man told you. The white man told you what was beautiful, and you just ran with that.
I want to know what you look. What do you look like?
About in Africa, 3.
Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty well looking. I give myself
pretty well looking.
According to that universal standard of beauty you talking about, the women in Africa ain't pretty, bruh.
5, 6. Say again.
According to that universal standard of beauty you talking about, the women in Africa aren't considered beautiful, sir. Universal standard of beauty is blonde-haired, blue eyes, sir.
No,
and that's wrong.
That's European, bro.
No, you said a universal standard of beauty. That is what you referencing. You're referencing white supremacist talking points.
Well, I want to know what you look like.
For 20 years, bro.
What is your Instagram page?
So what's the universal standard of beauty then, sir?
I just told you, 2/3 of a man's weight.
2/3.
I don't even know what that means.
2/3 of a man's.
I can't measure that quite fast.
So that means if a guy weighs 150 pounds, you gotta weigh.
It's
120.
So stupid, man.
Y'all hung up on him. I wanted to know what his page was because it always be some funny looking dude talking about what is beautiful. Like, stop it.
Universal standard of beauty, like you know what the girls on Mercury look like.
And like, what do you look like?
She's stupid ass. All right, well, what's the moral of the story?
I have no idea.
He just threw us off.
2/3 of a man's weight.
We needed to get his Instagram page because I just wanted to have his comments in shambles.
How you gonna go to the club? Excuse me, Mom. What's your weight? Well, you're not 2/3 of my weight, so you definitely can't.
You don't look like the universal standard of beauty.
All right. Yeah. Well, we got rumors on the way. He was an idiot.
I know, but that's why we needed to get his page. All right, and let's talk about a new biopic coming to Lifetime. And this woman does have a very interesting story.
All right, we'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's happening? How's everybody feeling out there?
Good.
How are you feeling?
I want to shout out to Pinky Cole, owner of Slutty Vegan. Yep. I actually hosted her book launch in New York yesterday, Eat Plants, Bitch. And so it's a great cookbook with all vegan recipes, but I love like her story and her work ethic. It's just amazing to me, like 9 locations and just growing. And her company is now valued at $100 million.
Okay, wow. Pinky, dropping them clues bombs with Pinky. Well, she got one in Brooklyn?
Yeah, she has one in Brooklyn. She has one opening in Harlem. And, you know, she started in Harlem. She actually owned a Jamaican spot in Harlem like years ago before all this started. So now she's opening a Slutty Vegan just blocks away from where there was a grease fire in there. So then it just wiped out her whole Jamaican restaurant. And so, you know, she didn't know what she was going to do after that. But look at what she did.
Yeah, just please don't try to do a vegan Jamaican restaurant. I seen the vegan oxtails one time. I wanted to cry.
Oh, listen.
That defeats the whole purpose.
Evan, you know that restaurant in Brooklyn, the Simpson, where you know the chef? He got a lot of vegan chicken, and he has a vegan chicken brown stew and all of that. So he has a lot of vegan Jamaican. But you know, a lot of Jamaicans who are Rastafarian are vegans.
Wouldn't it just be vegan brown stew though? Like, why call it vegan chicken brown?
Because it's like
stew?
fake chicken.
That can't be good for you, right? Like in the long run, we're going to have to realize that these foods that are fake are processed too,
Well,
right?
it depends on what it's made out of.
Most of them are.
It depends on what it's made out of. Because if you make it out of, say, zucchini, or you make it out of, there's different things. What is it called? Jackfruit. There's different things that you can make it out of that is still like a fruit or a vegetable or something like that that's not processed.
I think chickens should sue. Okay, because their likeness is being used. Right?
Shut up,
you got all
man.
these jackfruits out here
And if
impersonating
y'all
chickens.
ever ate a slutty
Right.
vegan burger, have y'all ever had one?
No, I went there in Atlanta one time. The line was too long, and I didn't want to get denied like how they do everybody at
Why
the
don't
club.
you just call Pinky or call one of her people? They definitely got
I
you.
don't know Pinky.
Yeah, she's actually here.
Oh.
These next, you know what? I'm gonna get some burgers and bring it up here because it's in Brooklyn. I can just get them. But when I tell you they are amazing, the first time I had it, I didn't even know about it. I was in Atlanta at the Revolt Music Conference. And she came and brought me a burger backstage while I was waiting to do my panel. And when I tell you it was so delicious, I didn't even know her. I just posted it because it was so good.
Yeah, I don't mind the word burger. Burger can always be interchangeable, right? Because you can have a veggie burger. You know, I don't like the word hamburger, especially when it's beef. So it should be beef burger, right?
Well, why can't you have a veggie chicken?
Because it's not real chicken. The burger
Well, it's
is a
not
burger.
real meat.
Huh? But the burger don't have to be a meat. The burger's a patty, the way the patty is shaped.
Okay, like a turkey burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
My goodness, you guys are just making me hungry right now.
You hungry?
And when you get out, shut up, man. When you get to Atlanta, and you're an idiot, man.
Why am I an idiot? I asked you a question
You're
this
an
morning.
idiot.
We're talking about vegan and meat. I asked you, do you want some meat? Or do you want
And
something vegan?
Pinky Spot is a vibe too. I just want to say that out there. So if
It's-
you ever get a
yeah.
chance to go out there, it's a dope vibe. And no, I don't want meat this morning.
And she has bar vegan too, so it's a whole bar situation.
Vegan alcohol?
No, it's a
Oh.
it's a. But they do have.
It's a bar-
too far.
It's a bar that does sell vegan food at
Yeah.
the restaurant, and it's
All
dope. It's a
vegan
vibe.
food.
Music is dope. It's really
I'd be
dope.
packed too. So
Mhm.
shout out to Pinky, really doing her thing, like, and being
Absolutely.
really open and transparent about what she went through as a business owner.
All right, well,
salute to you, Pinky.
Well, we got rumors on the way.
Let's talk about Lil Baby. He was honored in Atlanta. We'll tell you what he got.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk The View.
It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor report, rumor report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
So people were concerned for Sunny Hostin after they had a guest on the show, on The View. Megan Twohey, a journalist from the New York Times, who also has a book out about Harvey Weinstein and did a deep dive into that investigation. The book is called She Said. And during that appearance, you could tell she had a really bad cough.
This was one of the most fascinating pieces of this part of your movie. Harvey Weinstein barged into the New York Times offices, can you imagine, towards the end of your investigation to try and intimidate you and shut down the story. He's a large, imposing man. Were you ever scared of him? And how far did those intimidation tactics go?
Yeah, so there is. I'm so sorry for
Everybody
my
has
coughing.
this cough right now.
The little baby who gave me, with whom I had postpartum depression, has now been giving me just like a rotation of colds. So.
It happens, man. Okay.
You know, people be so scared to cough nowadays, though. That's
Especially
like
after
a thing.
COVID. And I'm a person that gets bronchitis. I get seasonal bronchitis, so that happens to me. Okay, it happens. All right, it's just a cough, people.
When I tell you, people were going in like, oh my God.
Why? They cough. You're coughing right now. Sometimes you might swallow wrong. In her case, she told you what it was. She got a little something
I don't
from the
believe you
baby.
swallow wrong.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You know, sometimes you do swallow wrong, but pause. That's disgusting. Oh my goodness.
You said it. Tell me how I swallow wrong, Envy.
Yo, shut up.
No. Since
Y'all
we
know
here
each other too
and
well.
Logan is listening, tell me why I swallow wrong.
Because any way I try to explain it's gonna sound crazy. But
Well,
you know,
tell me.
sometimes when the spit goes down or your phlegm goes down, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. I'm not playing this game.
I
with
can
this
tell
morning.
you're good at what you do.
I'm not playing this game. Yo, don't drop no bombs, man.
King.
Get out of
A king.
Get
A
outta
king
here.
is speaking, damn it. Let him talk. Or
Get
should I
outta
say a
here.
queen? A queen is speaking, damn it. Let her talk.
Oh my God, I hate y'all.
You done, Envy?
I'm done. I'm finished.
So go ahead with the spit.
No, go ahead.
You done, queen?
I'm done.
You know, I knew ever since I asked about Andy this morning, this would lead to the type of conversation that we having right now.
All right. Well, let's talk about Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. They are releasing a cannabis gummy collection together.
My wife came up with this holy ear situation, right? And I just thought it wouldn't be right if Evander wasn't involved. It's a real limited edition with the biggest company in the world, and he deserves it. You know, I'm not poverty stricken, but I can use a buck like everybody else. And I said, listen, let's make some money out of this. Let's make this negative thing something positive, and we can laugh at everybody because it was a joke.
Well, I guess the big thing with me was that I was glad that for the product itself, that it helped people. And if it's going to help people to be better, then that's what life is really about.
I respect it because when I first saw that was a while ago when they first announced that. I thought that to myself, it was Evander's ear.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mike Tyson's ear, it was Evander's ear.
It's cherry pie punch flavored. And so Evander said it put him to sleep, and he thinks the product is great.
Well, I want some. Send some up here, somebody. All right.
Mike Bites.
Somebody from Mike Tyson's podcast, Hotbox, and send me some of the edibles. I'd love to try them. Okay.
All right, now let's talk about SNL star Chris Redd. He actually has to have surgery after being attacked. All right, now he's scheduled to undergo surgery today to finish the job of permanently repairing his nose that was busted. If you guys recall, here's what he said about the night that he was punched outside of the comedy club.
I just got done texting my cousin who's in Olive Tree above the cellar so I could go eat some of his fries before I hit the stage real quick for my first set of 3. And as I put my phone in my pocket, this man hit me in the face with something. I thought it was brass knuckles because of the way it cut my nose to the bone. And I've been like boxing for like years, so I know. First of all, I've taken a punch to the face before, so it wasn't like terrifying. But what was worrisome is how much blood was coming out of my face. Look, I got 2 fractures in my nose and a fracture in my cheek. It was safe to assume I was hit with something, but dude just hit me and ran off, man. And I was sitting there. I fell down so fast, I didn't even know I fell until I looked at the footage.
Wow. Damn. Well, yeah, so now he is going to have to be under general anesthesia for about 2 to 3 hours. A plastic surgeon who specializes in getting his nose back into the correct place is going to have to oversee the operation. And so he's not trying to change anything about his appearance. I know, Envy, you're getting a nose job. But this is just for him to get his nose back to its original form.
I'm sending Chris healing energy. I just still am perplexed as to why he needed to eat his cousin's fries. Why couldn't he get his own fries before he went on stage?
His cousin was there. He wanted to, come say what's up to his cousin. Take, steal some of your family members' food and keep it moving.
All right, and shout out to Lil Baby. November 13th is now recognized as Dominic Lil Baby Jones Day in the city of Atlanta. He got a proclamation from the Atlanta City Council on Sunday in celebration of his successful career and his generous philanthropy. Did y'all see that video of the woman who was cutting hair? And he gave her, and he gave her a bunch of money. And she was just crying. We don't know the exact amount of money that he gave her, but it was something that he did like off camera. She just decided to tell her story. But when I tell you it was life-changing for her, and just to see how much he can affect somebody with his generosity.
Nah, he's really amazing. A good dude. He's really a good dude. A superstar, but still a humble, down-to-earth good dude.
So much pressure when you get your own day, too, though. And I think it's because of Trader Truth, because Trader Truth does so much on his day and around his day. Yep.
So he does the whole week.
There's so much pressure when you got a day.
He got camels. Remember he had all that?
I'm telling you.
I do something every year for Angela Yee Day.
That is true.
Yeah, I do a free event for in Brooklyn for everybody here and anybody who wants to come, but it's nowhere near the level of what Trader Truth does.
Yeah,
but still, you just try to do what you can. I hope it grows and continues to grow.
Yeah, I do charity stuff around my day in South Carolina. Like that's usually when I do like my annual, back to school book bag drive and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
so that's what you should do. I think you should do charity.
Yeah, whatever you can do. We partnered with We Belong Here with the Joe and Clara and Joe Foundation here, the owners of the Nets, and they did gave to 5 different organizations in conjunction with that. So that was amazing. That's a good feeling to be able to do that. So, but a lot of people get their own day and really don't do anything, which is fine too.
That's what I said. It's a lot of pressure.
It ain't like you asked for it; they just gave it to you.
And it's usually on like a random day that you're not even thinking about throughout the year that you get there.
Yeah,
It's good to be around something when it's around your birthday or like, or when it's around something that you're already doing. It makes a lot of sense.
And here it's around the West Indian American Day Parade, so that's
it's always around Labor Day weekend. Uses.
Yep. All right. Well, that is your rumor report.
All right. Now we got who you giving your donkey to, Charlamagne?
Man, 4 after the hour, man. I feel bad because I understand this teacher's pain, but there's a teacher named Samantha Pierre. Her and her husband, Dylan Pierre, need to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with them. Both of them are teachers, and I understand their pain, but they got to come to the front of the congregation.
All right. We'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
When it's time to get with someone special, the best way to do it is with Magnum large size condoms. That gold foil wrapper is a badge of honor, and it means you're protected. And you take care of things with comfort. Accept no substitutes. Bring the pleasure with the gold standard. Magnum large size condoms.
I was born a donkey.
It's the donkey of the day.
Now time for the donkey of the day. That's pretty funny.
Charlamagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Yes, donkey of the day for Tuesday, November 15th goes to an 8th grade teacher in Arizona named Samantha Pierre, a.k.a. Chloe Carter, and her husband, a 4th grade teacher named Dylan Pierre. Now, this is an interesting story because literally we were having this conversation this weekend in Nashville. This weekend we had the Thrill of Possibility Summit in Nashville with a Black Effect Podcast Network, iHeartRadio, and Nissan flew out 40 HBCU students in science, technology, and STEAM-related courses to introduce them to exclusive career development opportunities. And one of the panels we had consisted of myself and Angela Yee, Will Lucas, Carrie Champion, just to name a few. And one of the questions presented was, how does social media impact the workplace? And I was a little confused about the question and didn't know how to answer it because I honestly never thought about what would social media do for, like, you know, the average corporate job. And I actually said on the panel, if you work a corporate job but you go home and you have a whole other business online, meaning you might be a gossip blogger, some type of influencer, OnlyFans model, would that corporate job respect it? You know what I mean? Think about it. You're a model citizen at work, one of the best employees, but you have a whole other persona online that makes you extra income. Would your corporate day job respect that? Well, I think it depends on what the job is, the corporate day job. And I don't think under any circumstances you should ever mix the two jobs. Well, that's what appears effed up because they are school teachers. They are individuals that we trust with our kids, so we expect a certain amount of integrity and honor from our teachers, right? If I was in 4th or 8th grade and I could go on OnlyFans and watch my teacher busting it open, I don't know how that would impact me in our classroom. How could I ever call a woman Miss Pierre when I've seen Chloe Carter? Hey, Miss Carter. Well, that's exactly what happened in this situation because Samantha Pierre, a.k.a. Chloe Carter, and her husband have been fired for recording OnlyFans videos in her classrooms. A side hustle she claimed was necessary to supplement their low salaries. Let's go to the news report.
School district is firing 2 married teachers who they say filmed sexually explicit content on school grounds. The district says that the husband and wife were making content for the subscription site OnlyFans. You've got to be joking, right? The school told parents that the students had been sharing material involving a staff person, but it was not filmed during school hours. Still very inappropriate.
2 married teachers fired for making X-rated videos on school grounds. I agree with the firing, but it is a damn shame how little to nothing teachers get paid. I will never understand it. My mother has been an English teacher in the Berkeley County school system for at least damn near 40 years, as long as I've been alive. I still to this day don't know how she was able to take care of 5 kids off that salary, but she made it work. Okay, drop on the clues bombs for all the mothers who are public school teachers making it work with those weak-ass salaries. Mama! So, Samantha, I feel your pain, but you and your husband can't be popping that poom-poom in the classroom. Come on. Samantha said she resigned under pressure on October 31st, Halloween, after being placed on paid administrative leave and probation. Now she put out a statement explaining why her and her husband resorted to X-rated videos. Let's listen.
My children are the most important thing to me, and I'm already spending countless hours outside of my contract time on extra school activities, and I don't think it's fair that I have to sacrifice my own children's time because our professional salary did not pay enough. Arizona is currently ranked 50th state as lowest paid teacher salary. I created a content at the beginning of the summer in order to earn extra money on the side to help pay for our basic necessities that our salaries were no longer meeting. I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona on my OnlyFans so that it wasn't accessible to anyone living in the state. It was brought to my attention on October 24th that a community member had expressed concerns to the police and my school regarding video content.
Low salaries made her drop it low on her husband's penis for the world to see. How much were they charging? And maybe the kids in that classroom couldn't afford it. And you can block whole states on OnlyFans? Who knew? Who knew? You know, I don't know how I feel about this outside of her doing it in the classroom. Her and her husband did it in the classroom, so I can understand the school letting them go. But what if she was doing this in her own home? Would her and her husband be wrong? I mean, these platforms exist, right? These platforms help you make more money. Is there a moral clause that teachers have that says they can't do things like this? Because one thing about a lot of these old institutions is that they don't have any language for this new world, you know, that we live in them. So did she really do something wrong? I'm not talking about the classroom. Doing it in the classroom is why she's getting donkey today, okay? Because two teachers, don't care if you husband and wife, doing it in the classroom, it's wrong. You're using the school and your profession to do X-rated videos. Very fireable offense, very much so. I mean,
no, but
I can't say that.
No, you can't say that.
I can't say that.
No, you cannot.
What do you mean? Show me where I can't say. That's not one of the 7 words.
I wish I could have hit that dumb button, but go ahead.
What do you mean, red hit it?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Whoa.
Good job, Red. Red hit it. Go,
all
Red.
I said was kids could never look at the death the same again, because that's what Miss Pierce, you know.
All right.
Oh, that's what Ross did, right? Ross.
Yeah. We understand. Sir.
Yes. Okay. Wouldn't work. But what if these folks were doing this at home just to make some extra money? Would they still be fit to teach? Would you mind if your teacher and her husband was doing something on OnlyFans, you know, to make some extra money, but they weren't doing it in the classroom? I don't know. Let's discuss. But in the meantime, please give Samantha and Dylan Pierce the sweet sounds of the Hamiltones.
Oh, now you are the donkey of the day. You are the donkey of the day. Yee-haw.
I mean, totally wrong. I mean, they shot it in the classroom. That's just disgusting.
I mean, it's not disgusting. It's inappropriate.
We haven't seen
the video. I haven't seen the video to know if it's disgusting, Envy.
They had sex.
It sounds inappropriate.
In the classroom where your kids go to school and has to, you know,
it's
go to the front desk.
It's inappropriate, but I haven't seen it to know if it's disgusting. I have to watch it to know if it's disgusting. Okay, just, you know, you're calling them disgusting. I don't know if it's disgusting. It's inappropriate.
That is disgusting. That behavior is disgusting in the classroom, sir.
It's inappropriate. I would have to see what she's doing to say if it's disgusting or not.
You ever accidentally put your hand in something like that?
What?
Ugh.
What are you talking about, Envy?
Never mind.
What?
Never mind.
You think the kids would think it's slime?
Yes.
This is leftover slime from the science project. I thought I took all this slime home.
I thought I cleaned this up.
What the hell? It's not sticking, though. It's just sticky.
Goodness gracious. All right. Y'all play too much. All right. When we come back, who's joining us, Yee?
We have Cara Sabin. She's the CEO of Shea Moisture. And we also have Chantel, who founded Play Pits. It's actually a natural deodorant that she developed because her kid was stinky after going to basketball practice and everything. And so they're going to be here talking about these community impact grants that Shea Moisture gives out, as well as many other grants that they give to the community. I always tell people, if you're a business owner, you should apply for grants. It's not like something that you have to pay back. It's not a loan. It is actually free money. So we're going to talk about that.
All right, we'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got some special guests joining us this morning. We have Cara Sabin from Shea Moisture, and we have the founder of Play Pits, Chantel Powell. Good morning.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
Now, Chantel, when I first heard about Play Pits, I wasn't sure what it was, but it's a very clever play on words. So can you tell us what Play Pits is?
Thank you. So Play Pits is an all-natural deodorant that literally was created because my son smelled like a man at 6, right? And so I'm a mama that refused to settle, and I didn't want that smelly kid. And I feel like, you know, so often parents settle for a smelly kid, but I got in the kitchen and I created something that was safe and effective for him. And he loved it so much that he begged me to make more. And so Play Pits is now a national brand, and we're an all-natural deodorant company that teach kids about healthy hygiene and has amazing products for the whole family.
I know some grown men probably that could benefit from that too.
Oh, we have so many grown men that wear play pits. We have King and we have Queen adult products, and then we have the kids line, Sugar, Happy, and Sunshine.
All right. Now, Kara, let's get to you. As the CEO of Shea Moisture, you've been doing some great work, and I've done things with you guys during the pandemic, making sure that companies got grant money just because it was a difficult time.
Right.
There were people who weren't going to be able to survive the pandemic without some financial assistance. There were people who were applying to try to get some of this relief from the government, but for some reason they weren't able to get it.
Yeah.
So can you talk about some of the things, and then we'll discuss what we're doing now, but that Shea Moisture did during the pandemic to help some of those Black-owned businesses?
Yeah, you know, Shea Moisture from the very beginning has been committed to this mission of supporting Black entrepreneurship and supporting founders of color. And I joined the business in December of 2019, maybe 2 months before the pandemic. And then later that year, and then unfortunately later that year with the death, the murder of George Floyd, we saw the need in our community even greater. And so what we've been doing under the leadership of my Simone Jordan and her team is standing up programs that help facilitate access to microgrants, facilitate access to mentorship, educational hours, because that's the mission of our business, is to support other Black founders. Because we were once a Black founded business, and now our focus is on Black impact. How can we make the greatest impact to close what we call the racial wealth gap, which is $11 trillion.
So explain that.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to, because you guys have this impact report that's available now, SheaMoisture.com/impact.
Thank you.
But there is an $11 trillion racial wealth gap. What exactly does that mean for people who are listening and like, okay, break that down?
Yeah. Quite simply, it means that the average dollar stays in our community for far less time than it does to our counterparts' communities. And if you think about generational wealth, that is through the acquisition of land, through property, through things that are handed over generation after generation after generation. And because of historical oppression and discrimination in this country, a lot of those methods for building generational wealth have been eliminated for us. And so now we are in a position where there's this huge chasm between the wealth in the Black community and the wealth in, you know, the general community. And so that is what we're committed to, is working with founders like Chantel to help accelerate entrepreneurship, because we do see that as a path to building equity in our community.
Chantel, what were some of the biggest obstacles for you as a business owner and getting started to get to the point where you are today?
It really starts with education, right? I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I'm a first generation college educated person in my family. So when you go back to education and you've never seen, you know, a business owner in your family, you're starting from zero. Whereas you have people in other communities that it runs in their family, they have knowledge. So for me, what Shea Moisture has done was provide so many resources, webinars and lunch and learns and things that we were able to log in on and learn about different programs, and just a lot of the things that we're learning, whereas it's been simple for other people, is just, who knew, you know, cash flow and all that. I learned that because of me being a business owner. You don't just know that. And so I've been super grateful for the access to the information.
Our friend Ryan Wilson from The Gathering Spot, he's in the Impact Report, and he said that he feels like a lot of times our businesses are over-mentored and under-resourced.
Absolutely.
You know, so can you expand on that and how Shea Moisture has decided to tackle that?
Yeah. We have to give the credit to our founder, Richelieu Dennis, who founded Sundial Brands, and I know you know Rich, Angela, but through his vision of the commitment of what Shea Moisture would be focused on, he made the decision in 2017 to use acquisition as an exit strategy, meaning he sold the business to Unilever. And from that, one of the terms of conditions was that Unilever and he and his family would create this $100 million fund called the New Voices Fund.
And by the way, just sidebar, when that happened and everybody was up in arms and so angry, they didn't know there was a bigger play.
Completely, exactly. So he, you know, had the long-term vision. It doesn't just stop with selling his business, which he called selling in, not selling out. But from that, New Voices Fund was created. Chantel reminded me that you were part of, the work that New Voices was doing. And then he went on to acquire Essence Communications and many other things. So the long play is really, what is the end game? And for us, the end game is to help build generational wealth. And so to do that, it's through standing up these programs. Yes, mentorship and education is a big part of it, but like you said, the cash is important as well. And we know that entrepreneurs of color, less than 1% of them have access to capital. And so we really need other businesses to partner with us to make that number not so dire.
Chantel, can you tell us some of the stories that you have about getting your business started and maybe some things that you learned along the way, some wins and some losses?
I'll start with the loss, right? So recently, September 13th, I got a phone call at 3 a.m. and I lost my warehouse and everything in it to a warehouse fire, right? I started my business in 2018 and I've built it from my kitchen to this facility in Atlanta, Georgia. And to get a phone call at 3 a.m. that it was burning down to the ground was a loss that I did not know how I was going to recover from. But the loss has brought so many wins. And so, me being within the Shea Moisture family, Shea Moisture has definitely stepped up and provided opportunities for helping me with a grant and helping me, and also resources, right? Connecting me with people, giving me information and helping me navigate this circumstance. But then also we just won $100,000 with a grant and it was a contest, right? And so my customers, the Under Army, they came out and they voted for us to win $100,000.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that was with the Capitalists. And then we just won $50,000 with Pharrell Williams' organization, Black Ambition Prize. So you're going to have the wins and you're going to have the losses. And one thing that I'm learning in business is it's all about problem solving. It's all about how do you deal with it? How do you respond to the losses? How you learn from the wins and keep winning. So, and how you turn those losses into moments where you can propel yourself to win.
All right, we got more with Cara Sabin and Chantel Powell when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club of Morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with the CEO of Shea Moisture, Cara Sabin, and the founder of Play Pit, Chantel Powell. Yee.
There is a community impact grant, and I helped you guys actually launch that. Yeah. And people can apply until November 27th. So
correct.
Give us the details.
Yeah, no, we are so happy, Angela, that you partnered with us on that. So we are giving out 2 $10,000 grants. You will help us, pick those finalists. Applications close the week after Thanksgiving, November 27th. And it's just another extension of the programming that we do on the business. I don't know if we have time to talk about the Next Black Millionaire because that's also an active initiative that we have, but I'll pause there. But going to that grant, so that is an extension of the impact report. And when we decided to publish this impact report, a lot of businesses talk the talk but don't walk the walk. Mm-hmm. And Shea Moisture historically has been a really humble business where we do the action but don't really talk about it. And so we felt it was important to document the impact that we've made because we hope it inspires other businesses to partner with us on this journey. And I think it's also important to what you were saying, Chantel, about educating our community on business. So there's a component that will be coming later where we're producing a docuseries that chronicles 3 Black founders through their journey in becoming, the next Black millionaire. Because we don't really get to see the behind the scenes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Often we only see the good side, like, you have a business now, but we don't document the journey and everything that it took to get there.
It's so stressful. I'm stressed right now. Because I think, for me and Chantel, I know, just even starting, my coffee business right now, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of things I want to say about that, but putting my own money into something, and, that's a huge risk that you have to take. But I feel like you have to take it because you can't expect somebody else to take that risk if you don't take it in yourself. If you're not betting on yourself, So that's important to do. And then the other thing I want to say about coffee, and then when it comes to Shea Moisture, just even thinking about where your product comes from.
Where it's
There's
sourced.
a lot of things that we have to think. Is it ethically sourced?
Yes.
Are people getting, because I know in a lot of places, we have to think about the labor that's put into making that product.
Yes.
Okay. And I know for Shea Moisture, part of the mission is also making sure that women are compensated properly.
Yeah. When I, a couple of weeks after I started in 2019, that was actually the year of return. The 400th year anniversary of when the first enslaved people left the shores of Africa to the Americas. And so it was a life-changing experience to be on the continent in Western Africa at that time. But we took a trip to northern Ghana, which is where our cooperatives, our shea butter cooperatives are. And we really see those women as entrepreneurs themselves. And so everything that we do, it originates with the sourcing of the ingredient. And it's important that we're not extracting resources, but we're also putting back into the communities.
I have to think about that a lot. Like when it comes to my coffee company, the way that we started it and making sure that we want to make sure that the farmers and the exporters, the importers, you know, we pay attention to who they are. We do have a Black woman importer, Phyllis Johnson, who's amazing. We have a roaster, a Black woman who's a roaster also. And so we're really intentional about making sure we put our wealth back into the community. Even building our space, it was all Black and brown people that built our space, and a lot of the products that are inside of the store, you know, we make sure that we're trying to circulate that dollar back in as well.
And what I was going to say about that, and I think that is what's important about building Black people building Black, right? And when you can build an infrastructure or a business and you make sure your partners, you're still doing business with your people to make sure we're widening the impact. And that's something that we're very intentional about as far as we now, since the fire, we've partnered with a Black-owned 3PL company. You know, so like whenever opportunities I can partner Black, I will, because that is how we continue to grow what our business, you know, is able to impact in our community. And then I did want to say, I was a small business owner that was in the midst of just growing, and grant opportunities were available, and I did not pause to take advantage of them in the beginning. So I want to say to any Black business owner that's listening to this, take advantage of this free money, right? Shea Moisture, like, they are putting their money where their mouths are. Like, out of all of the partners that I've had over the 4 years, you all were the first to really give me cash in my time of need, right? And so I was very grateful for that. But now that you all are offering grants and other people, take advantage of this free money. Don't get intimidated about application process. Take a little day, schedule your time.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
All right. Well, listen, I want to make sure we let people know where to apply for these grants. Chantel, like you said, it's so important. If I wasn't part of this, I'd be applying for the grant.
Do it today. Right now, it literally doesn't close till the 27th. Do it today. Like, just pause, say, okay, I'm going to take an hour and apply. Like, the grants that I've been able to win, I'm so grateful that we paused to apply, because it's so impactful. And it doesn't matter the amount. You can get a $500 grant, $50,000, but this, apply for this today.
All right. And then when it comes to the educational aspect of it too, because as we know, and like Chantel said earlier, there's a lot of programming that can also help you as a business owner learn things that you didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the beautiful way that we like to work is, we think of it as a Shea fam, an ecosystem. And so, you know, we enjoy working with partners like you, Angela, and we want to invest in founders like you. And so, you know, once you're in the Shea fam, you're in the fam. And so,
no, really. And that is true. Like, you know, y'all have done, we've been featured on Amazon with it. Once you're in the family, once you get the cash, it doesn't stop there. It continues to, you know, bring in revenue for your company. So I definitely, do it today. Don't hesitate.
All right. Well, Chantel Powell, how can people find Play Pits?
Yeah, so you can follow us on social at Play Pits. You can go to playpits.com. You can also find us in 365 targets.
Okay, say that.
Look, 365.
Perfect number, but it's still growing.
I know, isn't it perfect? It's so easy to say. And then Target.com and Amazon.com. So we're accessible, and that was my main focus. 4 years ago, I knew that busy parents, busy people want a deodorant that's accessible. And so we've worked very hard these last 4 years to make it accessible. So we're almost everywhere.
And Kara, let people know how they can apply for these grants.
Yes, sheamoisture.com backslash impact.
You're renovating a home right now.
I did do that. I did do my kitchen. sheamoisture.com /impact.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Angela.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
The Breakfast Club.
Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Keisha Cole.
It's time.
She's spilling the tea. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, here's an exclusive from the Jasmine brand. Keisha Cole has a Lifetime biopic on the way. They're in pre-production, and filming is slated to start at the end of this year. Keisha Cole has an interesting story. We've seen her on reality TV. We've seen her family. We know she's been through a lot. And so I just feel like this could be a really interesting one.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, the thing about Lifetime with their biopics, they either hit or they miss, right?
They had the Clark sisters one.
They had the Clark sisters.
The Whitney one. Toni Braxton, Unbreak My Heart.
Salt and Pepper.
Yep, Aaliyah.
Wendy Williams. Yeah.
So I feel like this could be, and she's involved. So that's a good one. All right, now let's talk about Lala and her son Cayenne, her and Carmelo's son. So apparently he got into Syracuse and they had a big celebration. Lala posted, "Proudest mom on the planet. Your hard work and dedication is paying off. You are my son, my best friend, and my hero. To get a scholarship offer at 15 years old from the school your dad won a championship with is mind-blowing. Keep God first and everything else will follow. Thank you, Syracuse. I love you and I will always be your #1 fan." And they had a whole celebration with balloons and
I love it.
Syracuse balloons and everything in the background. And if you guys recall, when Chris Brickley, he trains a lot of NBA players. He also trained J. Cole when J. Cole was playing in the league. And here's what he had to say about Cayenne, because he's been training him as well.
I was going to ask, what players do you see that's coming up the ranks that people are sleeping on that you say is going to be the next?
Yo, you know who's actually getting tall like Cayenne Anthony?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, I've seen his whole come up. Melo's kind of put me on, and now he's like taller than me, 6'4", working out with Melo. Him and Melo are like playing ones. Like he's gonna be special. He's got his first few Division I offers. He's a freshman in high school. I think he's gonna be special.
Drop on the clues bombs for Cayenne.
Absolutely.
Lala and Melo, y'all did good.
Yeah, that's a proud moment. 15 years old. And I think he's gotten a bunch of other offers too, but I'm sure Syracuse, it looks like Syracuse is the one he wwants to rock with.
Don't nothing make you feel old when you know these kids since they was babies.
Yep.
And now they're 6'5".
Yep.
6'5". Jesus Christ, getting scholarship offers and they only 15. How old am I?
Well, old enough that you ain't got no hair. And let's talk about that, because Diddy is paying a lot of money.
Why would you say that?
Oh, I'm segueing into the next.
Why would you say that?
We were just talking about bullying. Goodness gracious. What a shock
this morning.
Goodness gracious.
Now, how much do you pay for a haircut? If you don't have hair, probably not much. But Diddy.
Wow, another stab. Go ahead, Yee.
Stack, here he is.
It's just sent, it's $1,000 a cut, yo. Ain't no, for real, because like this is my barber and I share him with the world. He's one of the best, but it's like I'm outside, so it's like I need my hair like done every 5 minutes. But if you gonna pay that price, I could spare him. You know what I'm saying? Me, my daily price is $5,000. And I'm just telling y'all the truth, because it's my barber, Marcus.
Drop the clues bombs for Marcus, man.
Yeah, don't take less than $1,000. Know your worth, King.
Know your worth.
Know your worth.
Now, Marcus, I've been rocking with you a long time, Marcus. When I come to LA, that's who I be using, Marcus now.
Why?
Because Marcus just can cut. Marcus
is
great.
You
got no hair. You can't.
Shut up. Marcus can cut.
You can't just use Nair.
Marcus is phenomenal.
I'll
tell y'all something. You know what? Let me mind my business. I'll tell y'all somebody else Marcus can cut. But if I told y'all who Marcus cut, y'all be like, okay, I see it. Marcus can cut. Like, he's a great, phenomenal barber. Drop on the clues bomb for Marcus. But I ain't got $1,000.
I ain't paying no $1,000 or $5,000. They ain't gonna happen.
I ain't got the $1,000 now.
Nope.
All right. And shout out to Dion Cole. He actually has a special on Netflix today. Charlene's Boy. Here's the trailer.
Women judge men on what they do and don't do for them before you even know who we are. Cold game. Y'all been running it for years. Gentlemen shit. Well, hell, it ain't no gentlewomen shit to do. Name some gentlewomen shit. Right. Here's some gentlewomen y'all can do. Just go up to a random motherfucker and moisturize his hands. Yeah, that'll work. Talking, yeah, I told that last night. Well, that's mighty sweet of you, man. Thank you very much.
All right, so you can check that out today. His last special was hilarious, so.
I shall be watching that. Netflix still has great stand-ups. I watched Neil Brennan Blocks on Netflix last week. Phenomenal stand-up special Neil got.
All right, got to check that out too. All right, and that is your rumor report.
All right, my barber gonna text me. See, I tell you, you need to pay me more. I'm not paying $1,000.
By the way, Marcus's situation with Diddy is different because Marcus is always with Diddy, literally. Like Diddy gets his hair cut like every 10 hours.
So if you have a barber, you can't just cut your own hair?
I
don't understand.
But it's the experience. Like, my main barber is my man Ty. Salute to my man Ty. Dropping the clues bombs for Ty. But I like the experience.
But how can they mess that up?
I'm sure you could mess a baldy up.
If you don't get all the hair, because I'm sure the back part is the most difficult.
That's right.
All right. Well, shout out to all the barbers out there. Jose, what's going on? All right.
Yeah, salute to my man Willis. So there's a lot of great barbers out there, but boy, don't get no ideas from Marcus, please.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Be like, price going up.
And Marcus is with a billionaire. If I was a personal barber to a billionaire, I'd probably want $1,000 a cut.
Now, should you change your price based off of how much
money? Yes.
Your price is your price.
Yes, you should.
No, you should not.
Yes, you should.
It should be your price is your price.
No, not if you're somebody's personal barber. If I'm your personal barber and you got me with you everywhere, yes. In fact, Diddy should have Marcus on salary.
That's when the barber be cutting your hair.
That's what he probably does.
Your barber be cutting your hair like, other people be getting $1,000 and y'all just want to pay me. What do you pay?
You said what now?
What do y'all pay?
What are you talking about?
For a barber. Like, what's the...
That ain't nobody personal. I ain't putting nobody personal. What's that? Let me not doing that.
I'll be damned if you pay $1,000 for a baldy.
Yeah, you right. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong when you right, G. No, you ain't wrong when you right.
I know. I could understand like Envy with the Beijing and all that. That take a lot more effort.
That's an artist. Now you paying Picasso. Now you paying a painter. This man could be out tagging subways, but he got to do Envy Chin. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny, shout to John, shout to all the barbers.
You got to buy paint. Paint costs.
All right, let's get to the mix. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. See, y'all go too far.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
When it's time to get with someone special, the best way to do it is with Magnum large size condoms. That gold foil wrapper is a badge of honor and it means you're protected. And you take care of things with comfort. Accept no substitutes. Bring the pleasure with the gold standard. Magnum large size condoms. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning. All right, you got a positive note?
The positive note is simply this. Getting your stuff together requires a level of honesty you can't even imagine. There's nothing easy about realizing you're the one that's been holding you back this whole time.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?